Welcome. This is Barry Jones from Angelic Wisdom, and we're here for our weekly angel reading for December 4th through December 10th, 2023. So, I'd like to begin by first thanking everyone for returning to this weekly series and to also welcome anyone who might be new to our Angelic Wisdom community. So, just a few reminders before we start. So, first of all, make sure that you're subscribed, you selected the all notification bell, like, dislike, and leave your comments. Also, if you can, or if you would like to get an angel reading with me, you can go to my current website, theangelschool.com/services. And that link you will find in the description area below this video and any other links that I might mention as well. Also, make sure that you have had the opportunity to check out the general monthly angel reading for December. I just posted just a few days ago. So if you haven't had a chance, it'll be the first link in this video description area. Also, if you'd like to just support my channel with a donation, you can go to my PayPal me link for Angelic Wisdom, which you can also find below. And let's see, I will be working on the daily the monthly angel scopes within the next week. So those messages should be coming out soon. So before I get started on our actual reading, I've got to also try to do a meditation with you. I've done it before, but I really want to emphasize it again, making sure that you're all taking advantage of this as we're shifting. And but last night I was at the opera at New York City, the Metropolitan Opera, which you may have seen in New York Times, the protest that took place there. And it was such an interesting day because Wagner, I've not really given much of my musical attention to his music. I know the overtures to the operas. I don't know, but for some reason yesterday, after I did my meditation, guided meditation with my chakras and all this stuff, and it I don't know. It's just like all of a sudden I was thinking about Wagner, and you can probably see where this is going. And so on my YouTube feed, there was the opera, the Valkyrie, Die Valkyrie, and for some reason, I'm listening to this third act scene with the famous um, theme that's in the opera, and I'm just like all of a sudden feeling like so into Wagner, and just having an understanding, an expansion of some awareness I didn't have before. And so my roommate and I decided, let's do this. We looked up, she discovered that there was the opera playing, Tannhäuser, and it was like, okay, let's do it. We went, and I just decided I'm gonna just cancel the day and get some sleep because it's a long opera and relax. Blah 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 blah. We get the tickets. Everything works out wonderfully. We have orchestra seats, etc. And when we get to the opera, I was sitting there, and the overture starts, and I just really feel my energy like going out into the room. I felt, first of all, like I was being charged in an extraordinary way, a very magical way, and the energy was just going out. Like I was this generator, and the opera was just sublime, and it happened at the most tender, exquisite moment of the opera. But it was the outbursts that surprised me, not from so much the protesters, but the audience members who, you know, they were saying like, no more oil or whatever, and they were just like, yeah, I'm gonna use more oil, and it started to incite. For me, it started to feel like a very dangerous thing was about to happen, as someone was pulling on the banner that someone was holding, and the these three men from some country, I'm not aware where they were from particularly, but they were just really inciting the what I felt like my interpretation, the impact of the violence that could have ignited. And so I had to finally turn to them because I thought that situation was very dangerous. That the audience, if they kept egging this, um, the protesters on, or they're showing their disdain for them, that they were going to cause someone to pull that person down. That's just my interpretation. And that there would have been something horrific to have happened. I turned to those guys and I just, told them to please stop, because they are going to ignite something that might be potentially dangerous. And so they did. And and eventually everything went back. There was a few more outbursts. Um, and I don't know why I'm telling you this, but the what I sensed, the reason I'm telling you about this is because it's the first time in my life, I think, ever that I've been in a situation that could have gone really bad. I've never really been in situations like that. And I felt like my energy, like I was called there yesterday, and I felt my energy was just doing something. And so I think it's really important for us to all realize that, in a way, our activations, um, our inner light work is going to be activated in certain ways. And what was interesting at the end, after having a conversation with some other people behind me during one of the intermissions, and the last thing when we left the opera, the guy said to me, just out of the blue, thank you for your light, for sharing your light. And I thought that was so, because it reminded me at that moment the feeling that I felt within myself, that there was this energy, this light radiating from me involuntarily, and it's not something I've ever felt before. So be aware, of the light work that you will be doing. And most of the times that you're not even really consciously aware that you're doing it. However, you might get a sense that, in your awareness, that you might be more present with the soul light work technology that is activating within you. So just watching some other things, and today, and I know one of the writings or something I've spoken about recently, well, of course, the December general angel reading um, brought up some pretty interesting things about the shift that will unfold for this month, and where in our I am presence, our monad I am presence, will basically, the vision I saw was the ego sort of in the dead center in the third eye. And what it gave me a sense is that our inner light is really going to be confronting our ego with truth. And I just kept thinking last night about the ways that the audience could have responded. Um, and, you know, the cause to me did not seem um, like a negative thing, but the reaction to people, some people, not all, was very negative. And some people were asking me behind me, like, does this really have anything to do with the arts? Well, we're all connected and everything has a thing to do with everything. And if we all, you know, believe that the earth needs our compassion and our protection and our caring, then a simple applause would have done, and it probably would have just ended the entire demonstration very peacefully, as the acknowledgement of what they were saying. It would no longer have been necessary to keep interrupting the opera, but we don't know how things would have gone, and I don't really know what was going on behind the scenes energetically. Only that what I knew was I was sensing in myself. So, um, but it's going to be really important for us to think about the ways in which we respond to the challenges that this dynamic of your inner truth, seeing the ego and all of its illusions, and it's I think it might be triggering, and for some it might be the greatest sense of relief and release and healing. So let's go ahead and one of the things I've been doing, and I mentioned it maybe a month ago, is that Archangel Michael was guiding me to connect in with the new foundation of unconditional love for the new golden era. And I think this is really powerful way to start your spiritual practice or for centering and grounding, because one of the things that I've been saying is sort of like we've been cut off from that three-dimensional reality. We've been set free, let's put it that way. We have the choice, free will still. However, it's sort of like a phantom limb when you cut off a limb and then you still feel the pains and that whole process. So by connecting into this foundation, you firmly create an awareness and a sense of what this connection is. You're no longer wondering what it feels like, or and it offers qualities. It will upload qualities that you need from that new age, golden age. It will upload those qualities into you. Now, like anything, you have to do it consistently, often, in order for it to really shift your energy, they're writing, so that you start to really acclimate. This is the way to help you to acclimate to this new frequency. And it offers me the most extraordinary sense of grounding that I've ever felt. Because we don't need to operate from the three-dimensional reality and then try to align ourselves with the higher frequencies. We can start on that golden foundation and then acclimate and shift our vibration. So, for the fear of just talking too much here, let's take a deep breath, release, and let go of everything that's on your mind and your heart. And if you just have a lot of baggage, then see it all in suitcases. Just instantly see it all packed. And see a golden path in front of you. On that side of the line, the sun shines eternally bright and radiant, golden. Beautiful golden orange. and allow yourself to step forward out of the area where you are, where there's scarcity, and however that is visualized to you, cloudiness, shadowy. And at that moment where you approach that clear delineation, that line between these the three-dimensional reality and the fifth dimensional golden era future, make sure that you have left every one of those bags behind you. You don't need any of those tools of the three-dimensional reality any longer, nor the baggage of various stories that you've told yourself or that you've come to believe about yourself and about others. You don't need the tools of manipulation or anything to try to get your way because you are in an illusion that the world is working against you and is unfair just for you, just because of you. You're ready to let go of that insanity. And with for full forgiveness in your heart for everything and everyone, including yourself, in all dimensions of time, in all facets of the universe where your soul has journeyed, under the laws of grace, you release them and you for all time. And when you're ready, step across and place your foot and then your other foot into the golden, radiant, fifth dimensional foundation of unconditional love for the highest possibilities of the new golden era. And with each step, feel yourself melding into this golden foundation and sensing the three-dimensional paradigm of fear at your back floating away. No need to turn around and look, but just to feel it yourself releasing it all. And calling upon Archangel Michael to anchor you into the new foundation of unconditional love for the highest possibilities of the new golden era to be fulfilled in your life, in your soul essence, in every way possible that is fulfilling, prosperous, successful, and fully awakening and expanding into your ascension process in the most extraordinarily beautiful and wondrous ways. And as you meld and you Ask Archangel Roquel to now meld you into this new foundation. Feel the qualities that you need begin to upload into every facet of your being, into the cells of your body, and into your etheric fields. And if any qualities from any of your lifetimes of your soul mastery, now we call them back to you to be utilized for the highest good only in this lifetime, moving forward as we build together a new era of peace. And when they write the word confess, that's my symbol for total transparency and honesty. That you want not only everyone to be totally transparent with you, but you want to be totally transparent with others. And this is not something you have to do, but it's about a beingness, that you're just being transparent. That meaning that you're no longer thinking about how to manipulate or filter in order to avoid the truth. Because the ego makes us think we have to avoid conflict, that we're trying to avoid conflict, but what the ego is masking is the truth. And so becoming fearless and standing in your truth and knowing how what it feels like, they write, to feel safe, to be in your truth, not just to be truthful. Like being truthful is like almost speaking truth, being honest when you speak to people. But this is about the foundation, the awareness, the energy of truth, what that, the calibration of your frequency, what that feels like, what that causes you, how it causes you to act, how it causes you to perceive, and how it causes you to project, etc. Offer who you truly are, and the deep and profound extraordinary gifts that your soul represents, and the light it is to the world, and therefore the light work, or the light worker they're writing, that you truly are, and the light work that you do as that light worker. These are not things that you have to figure out, but in order to truly feel at peace, to feel safe, you have to start learning how to really appreciate the status of truth, what it feels like, how it interacts through you as a conditioning of love, and unconditional love, more specifically. And if the angels show you qualities, then invite those qualities to be uploaded into you. This is going to bring about a lot of release for many of you and changes in others. And they're writing, opening you up to a feeling of can do, and a can do that brings joy, can do awareness. All right, so let's take a look at the Archangel, Archangel Michael. Perfect. Because we're talking about this truth, and Archangel Michael, one of his qualities is truth. courage, strength, and integrity. And so he now uploads these qualities. This is what we need in order to become the image of our higher self. So Archangel Michael's name means he who is like God. And so in being truthful, being one of integrity, you are able to be authentic, truly authentic. And true authenticity is what I am been trying to describe as this essence of truth. What is just what you are, what you naturally radiate. And when you're aligned truly in your energy, this is the example of life that you exude. And so it says, stand in your power, be true to yourself. And so in this week, expect to be challenged by yourself. But he's writing the word responsible. Be responsible. Don't worry about the challenges that come up, but just be responsible. Think about how to respond, not from your fear, but from truth. Your truth. Your truth is like a light, it lights you up. You have the knowledge and the wisdom within you already. You are, and he writes, legitimate. Your true self is legitimate. And when you start to come from that place of truth, you will experience authenticity in a way that feels legitimate. And that legitimacy creates an atmosphere where there's less room for doubt and more for respect, not only for yourself, but for others. When you come from this place of truth, equality, he writes, will be more evident in your experiences. Because it's like you raise the bar for everyone else. When truth really shines, it automatically raises the bar for others. They have to step up to that level. If they're dishonest, they're going to feel very uncomfortable trying to be to be manipulative, because integrity, it's so powerful. It it sort of just, calls everyone out without saying it out loud. It's the what you exude calls them out, and it causes them to change the channel immediately or rapidly, because there's nowhere to hide when the truth shines bright. They're exposed to themselves. It's not about you exposing them, but when you are being fully in your truth, you expose within them, you expose them to the light within themselves. And they write the word longevity. Archangel Michael, he's saying that this creates longevity, not only in life, but it creates longevity in terms of achievement, pursuing goals. You have a sense of longevity. It's what he's trying to say. You feel safe and certain in the midst of things, in the midst of challenges. And so you will more likely start to achieve goals because you have this sense of truth that just gives you a boost in confidence and creates longevity in terms of how you your stick-to-itness, and the things that you are being given to do. God, that blue just looks so beautiful with the card backs, doesn't it? And look at this. So we have the 9 of Earth. And this is a sense of here finding more, not only independence, but stability, more longevity in the kind of success that you can experience. And not talking about long term success only, but immediate longevity. Like when you're engaged in the moment, you're seeing the opportunities and they feel as though they're just blooming, endlessly as you are fearless in walking that path, honoring the conviction of your soul, your desire, heart's desire, fulfilling those plans and things that you need to really create a life not only for yourself, one that you can really hold your head up and feel great about, but igniting these dynamics of truth for others to find that same kernel of peace and joy and fulfillment. So the Five of Fire presents a challenge in the way that I often think of comparisons with this card. And when we compare ourselves to anything outside of us, any experience happening outside of us, whether it's a person or an event or a situation, we are automatically diffusing our truth because we're now feeling compelled to emulate someone else's truth. And because everything in the outer reality is really illusion because it's just being projected, right? And so that's why we always have to come from within, from the power, the position of our own truth, to be able to stand in it when you feel really inspired in it and find strength in it. And then this inability to see beyond these situations, that because we're gonna always have this duality, contrast. But the difference is, for me in the fifth dimension, is that we have more clarity, more inner peace with what we perceive as challenges. Now we perceive them as a purpose, helping us to grow. And so we invite that. We don't resist it. We make peace with it. We embrace the opportunity to grow. And we don't overcomplicate it and make it conditional, or we don't make it more than what it needs to be so that we lose sight of our goal and sort of get off course, which is what normally happens when we start comparing ourselves to others, or trying to be with, or trying to be validated by others, by trying to adapt to their point of view or what they consider is the truth. It's okay to listen and choose. When you listen, when something is said and inspires you, that is something that's a spiritual connection. The rest, you have to leave and take that from them. So that is the way we can work with the outer reality, is if it inspires us, truly inspires us, meaning it doesn't create envy in us, then when it inspires us, then it is acting as a conduit for divine guidance and awareness, like a sign to support. All right, so this card, the Fool card, title here, Dreamer, highlights that you will find, as you learn to stand in your truth, you're not afraid of new things. You're not afraid of new awareness, new beginnings. You're not afraid of your own desires and your dreams and your goals. You are open Now your heart is open. When we have fear, our heart is closed. And when our heart is closed, the feelers that our heart puts out, that sentient awareness, is shut down. And so, like, we're blind and we don't know what to trust. But when we leave our hearts open, not because we're afraid, and this is not about making yourself vulnerable to anyone else, but when you truly leave your heart open, you first understand that it's never been about trusting anyone out there. People can betray or whatever. If your heart is truly open and you're standing in your truth, then the only thing that ever matters is the truth that you are honoring within yourself. That's the only kind of respect you will ever get in this world. And not to say it in a way that nobody else can give it to you, but they cannot give you something that you are not truly giving to yourself. You cannot truly have a trusting relationship with someone else unless you truly have a trusting relationship with yourself. And this message today is about that. And that creating such an incredible shift that you start to embrace all of the changes and all the things that need to change, all the ideas, the inner guidance that's leading you in the world towards peace through you, that will happen. That kind of cooperation, no longer fear of separation. All right, so this is the card I pulled from the bottom of the deck already, and it's the Two of Water. So this card talks about a reconciliation, a healing, a coming together. So in general, when you stand in your truth, the bottom line of this card is you're going to start to see, well, let's put it this way, oneness start to happen, which means you're going to start to see things, reconciliation happen, healing happen in relationships. It may not be the kind of healing where you get back together, but it's the kind of healing where you let each other go and you let each other be happy. Because as I've said before, not everyone is meant to stay on our timeline. When people die in our lives, it's because that was their time to get off of our timeline. And it's time for them to get on their own time, their new journey. But also, if they had stayed in your life, that influence would still be there when you no longer need it, when you're ready to fly on your own. But same thing about a relationship when someone's still alive. We just have to accept that relationships end because that timeline, that person is no longer needed in your timeline. And every person, every experience is like an ingredient. It shifts the recipe in some way. And maybe sometimes we're ready for a change in that recipe. So healing does not mean, or reconciliation, or coming together does not mean, or coming together in agreement does not mean that you have to work together or stay together in a relationship or continue to be friends. You learn how to be what's best for the relationship. And that's what I'm really talking about here. All right, so standing our truth is going to really reveal some things that we might expect, but also things that we don't expect. And how open can you keep your heart to being compassionate and understanding and respectful of the universal laws that have been orchestrated on your behalf for your soul's highest alignment. All right, so I send you lots of love and angel blessings, and have a beautiful week and a beautiful practice with that new foundation connection. God bless.